Hi dear students, it's grammar time again. I'm Shoshana Vetisyan and today we are going to speak about the verbals. Այսօր մենք կխոսենք բայի անդեմ ձևերի մասին. For today's lesson, we will know the types of verbals, their formation and functions, and some verbs that are always succeeded only by gerund or by infinitive. Now let's see what are the verbals. There are 3 verbals in English. They are formed from verbs but are never used alone as action words in sentences. The verbals function as noun, adjectives, adverbs. Կազմված լինելով բայից, նրանք երբեք չեն իրականացնում բայի գործառույթ նախադասության մեջ, այլ ստանձնում են այն գործառույթները, որոնք իրականացնում են գոյականը, ածականը եւ մագ բայը. Now let's see which are those 3 types of verbals. So they are the participle, the infinitive, and the gerund. Now let's have a look at each type of them. So the participles are divided into 2 types, present participle and past participle. To form the present participle, we add ing to the verb. And to form the past participle, we add ed to the verb. This is when the verb is regular. And in the case of irregular verbs, they may end with en, t, d, or n. In the sentences, the participles may have the functions of adjectives and adverbs. So let's discuss some examples and make this more clear. She looked at the rising sun. Now let's discuss some examples to make this more clear. So, she looked at the rising sun. The participle is rising, and being formed by a verb, it does not function as a verb. In this sentence, the predicate, the main verb, is looked, while rising, the participle describes the sun. Which sun or what kind of sun? The rising sun. Another example, we wasted a whole day trying to repair the car. In this case, the participle describes the verb, how they have spent the whole day. So they spent the day trying to repair the car. For the past participle, I have these 2 examples. The stranger looked at the sealed envelope. As we can see, sealed is a regular verb, therefore it ends with ed. And in this sentence, it has the functions of adjective. Which envelope or what kind of envelope? The sealed envelope. One more example. I want it done quick. In this case, as you can see, the verb is irregular, done, and it does not function as a verb. Now let's go ahead and have a look at the next verbal, and this is the gerund. To form the gerund, we need to add ing to the verb. But be careful not to confuse it with the continuous tense, neither with the present participle. The main difference of these 3 are the following. In the case of continuous tense, we deal with the predicate. It becomes the predicate of the sentence. In the case of participle, present participle, the ing form has the functions of an adjective or adverb, while in the case of gerund, it acts as a noun. It has the functions that the noun has. It can be a direct object, indirect object, and so on. So let's read some examples. He never stopped hoping for peace. One more. He dreams of living in a better world. It is useless talking about it. In all these 3 examples, the words highlighted, written in bold, are gerunds, and they all have the functions that a noun may have in a sentence. Now, I want us to remember some verbs that are always taking gerund. Some of these verbs are to finish, to consider, to avoid, to deny, to give up, to put off, to go on, to suggest. An example, go on paving a way for the younger generations. As we already know, go on always takes gerund, the ing form. And now let's speak about the 3rd type of the verbal, which is the infinitive. This is how the structure of infinitive looks like, to plus infinitive, the present tense of a verb. The infinitives may function as a noun, adjective, or adverb in the sentences. Let's discuss the examples. To work is everybody's duty. To work is the infinitive. We have to plus work, the present tense of the verb. It functions as a subject. It has the functions of a noun. One more example. Don't forget to post the letters. Again, the words in bold are the infinitives. There are some verbs that always take infinitive. Some of these verbs are to promise, to decide, to plan, to attempt, to arrange, to learn, to refuse, to offer. An example: on cold mornings, the car may refuse to start. We already know that refuse always takes infinitive. Besides this, I want you to know one more important point. Grammar can be tricky sometimes. There are some verbs that may take both gerund and infinitive, and some of these verbs are to stop, to remember, to regret, to go on. Let me explain this with the help of examples. He stopped admiring the view, and with the usage of infinitive, he stopped to admire the view. As we can see, we have the same verb, the predicate stopped, stopped. In one case it takes gerund, in the other case it takes infinitive. The main difference is their meaning. In the case of the first sentence, admiring takes place earlier, happens earlier than the predicate, stopped. In this example, visiting takes place before remember, while in the second case, remembered takes place earlier than visit. And now let's conclude today's lesson. So today, we have learned the types of verbals, which are the gerund, the infinitive, the participle with its two types, present and past. We know their functions, which are the functions of the noun, adjective, or an adverb. And we also have learned some verbs that always take either only gerund or an infinitive, and also some more verbs which may take both gerunds and infinitives. Now it's time to say goodbye. See you soon!